Moors. I think that was around the time when the Habsburgs wanted to reinvent their dynasty. That was a little more recent history than we think too. That was the quote unquote. What is it?
Pedro, I definitely look younger than Pedro Pascal, which makes sense. I did notice. I have prominent cheeks. He has prominent cheeks, but that was because of the conversation I'd seen.
Your cheeks are prominent.
Oh my god.
Hey, Edmund. Did you get tired of listening to black people talking about math?
It's pronounced math.
What's the difference?
I'm a woman. I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about math.
Black people invented math, okay? They were kings and shit.
Yeah.
Wait, did they invent math or math?
They are the sole possessors of truth.
I went into one of your rooms and you were streaming that conversation between Simon and two guys. Well, one woman and one guy. The woman I know, and they were talking in their accents and like not understanding anything, reading from ChatGPT, trying to make sense of the philosophy of science and math. And it was like ridiculous. And math.
Well, it's because we were talking about that because there was an actual PhD of math in the room.
Bobadilla?
And he. no, this guy Carlos.
He said actual.
Yeah, exactly. And we were talking like.
Are you talking about Professor Lyrical?
No, I'm talking about Carlos. And yeah, we were just talking about it because he brought forth like this paradox, saying, regarding this like theoretical math paradox, and I was like, if there's no practical use for it, then you're just talking about numbers. You're just talking about numbers that add up to whatever its sum is. Like it has no practical application in reality. They're not real concepts. So
but they can describe interesting relationships, even if those relationships don't exist in the real world. They exist mathematically.
Right, but mathematics is used to describe things in reality.
Well, that's one use of it. It's also used to describe things mathematically. It's like, it's a way to describe things. Just because they don't exist doesn't make it without value.
But precisely because it's used to describe things, it requires or it implies.
No, that's one use of it. That's not the only use.
Yeah, but even when you're mathing, even when you are just adding numbers, there needs to be some sort of meaning behind it. Because otherwise, you're just doing it for the sake of doing. When you're doing math, you're striving to look for something to make sense.
I told you what that was, that they are striving for, and what's enjoyable to mathematicians about that is you're describing interesting relationships that may not exist in the real world, but they exist in the mathematical sense. And the way they interact, and the way the numbers interact, and those mathematical relationships work out in different ways, that's what's interesting. And that is helpful mathematically for other... No, that's not based on reality. That's based on mathematics.
The measurements and the formulas are all based on reality.
That's the point. Like mathematics is based off of things about reality, measurements in reality. If it has no tie to reality, you're just living in your head. You're living in a fantasy world. There's no practical.
You know what it is like saying, okay, all the words that I am using right now and that we're using to communicate were based off of reality. Now we can use these words to describe an imaginary world. That imaginary world is not real, but the words that I am using in order to communicate with you guys are based off reality. So the same thing with math. You can use it in order to describe what you're saying, or imagine things, or make theories, or whatever, forecasts that are not real. But the way, the language they're using it is, in order for them to be able to understand each other, is based off of reality.
That's right.
or if the origin of maths was imagination, then we would arrive to a concept, let's say, like God, right? God is something that we all kind of know what we are talking about, but nobody really understands what appears in your head when you talk about God. Like everybody has got a different image, in their head of God, because nobody.
The concept of God is
Dr.
non-universal.
Sasha,
But if we say,
welcome back.
if I tell you,
You know what
the
kind of
concept
show it is.
we all have a universal concept of what a chair is, or a TV, or like
Is this what I do? Is this how I ruin your Conhouse experience by playing music?
What's the concept of God? You're gonna have similar characteristics, just like you'll have similar characteristics of a chair, but you'll never both be imagining the exact same imaginary chair. And it might be
No, but you know
more
what I
extreme.
care.
well, that's measurement. That's called measurement omission. Basically, put aside God, but like us having a different concept of like what, or like a different outlook of what that specific chair would look like. The whole point is we all understand what a chair is, but like it could be a glass chair, it could be a wooden chair.
At this point, God, well, I don't know. People have even drawn him. I don't know.
Drawn.
No, drawn is another thing. Whatever. People have made pictures of God, and you have seen God represented on TV and whatever. And so
I saw God in a tortilla once.
people do have kind of like they can share an image of what civilization or humanity has made of God, but still, when you really want to talk about the actual God, like there is.
Okay, but given all that, why do we have to limit the use of mathematics to reality? Why just because it comes from our understanding? Say I concede that point.
Because you got to hear if there's more information.
That.
Because that's all there is.
I mean, that's all that exists.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole point. Like it's.
But just because something doesn't exist doesn't mean it can't be interesting to imagine it.
Well, but the whole thing is like, what are you basing what you're doing on?
It's like sci-fi. They're making up. They're finding things that may not have worked out in reality, but had things been slightly different, they could have.
Okay,
Yeah, but
well, I mean,
sci-fi is based off of reality, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, and sci-fi has its basis in reality. Because otherwise, I mean, like, these concepts are coming from reality.
Look, like I don't know how much you know about like Plato or Platonism, but like he has like a whole concept that basically he's taken over math, where people have like just floating abstractions in their minds, where it's just like it's a little more difficult to explain, but basically, if it doesn't refer to reality, then it's just a floating abstraction in your mind. There's no practical use to it, and you can't refer or point to anything about what you're thinking about.
Otherwise, it's called science fiction, using your imagination.
Okay, but that's not what mathematics is used for. That's the whole point.
For example, do you know what a ploof puff is?
Yeah, that's when you put cocaine into a hooker's butthole and with a straw.
No, it's not. A ploof puff.
I thought it was
Nobody knows. So if I want to explain what a ploof puff is,
Damn, what happened there?
I wouldn't be able to, because it's not based on reality. It's just a ploof puff.
That's right. A flooberdoodle.
I think what we have here is a lack of imagination.
That's right. A flooberdoodle is a flooberdoodle.
I think it's smaller than a proof booth.
You know,
Size doesn't matter.
that's right. That's what she said. But yeah. Anyways, it's like 6 a.m. right now. 6:30.
Oh, you know what I was told yesterday, Simon? When my friend, he said that Islam is very compatible with Austrian economics,
No, it's
and
not.
that yeah, there is no discrepancies between Islam and Austrian economics and Ludwig von Mises and all of these guys.
Okay, so why hasn't the Muslim world adopted?
No, it was an uncomfortable
This is about to
conversation.
go out though, so not
Yeah,
subscribe to my newsletter. You can go there now.
Okay,
Maybe
well,
this will be
okay.
up shortly. You'll be able to see it
What
there.
about usury?
But all right, guys. I'm
All right,
gonna shut
guys.
down. Trash, thanks for rocking with me. This was an
Anyway,
unexpected
it doesn't matter. I
drop
just thought
today,
of you
and
yesterday
a
while I
lot
was
of information for us to fucking go through in a single space. So
That's a
yeah,
weird thing.
sorry guys. I know we sounded
Person to
spotty.
have,
I know we sounded like all over the place, but like a lot of us have been in this.
What are you doing awake, by the way? Did you wake up or haven't you slept?
No, I fell asleep early. I fell asleep at like actually no, it wasn't even that early. Maybe like 10:30 because my girlfriend came back from Milan, and then I woke up at like 1:30.
Is she back or did she leave? I thought you said
she
that
left.
your girlfriend was in Milan and now you're saying she's back.
Yeah, she came. She got back at like 9:30 this evening.
Oh, okay.
Is
Okay,
your
my
girlfriend
sister said she was-
abstract or is she actually real?
No, she's real. So the message you sent me was before that. Then. I thought you meant that she was there still.
Yeah.
I kind of love the Itty Bitty Titty Committee poem. I'm sorry. I just read it.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I'm amazing.
But I feel like it's quite witty. Your Itty Bitty Titty Committee. So bravo.
Thank you very much. I'm proud of my itty bitty titties.
See, itty bitty titties are only great with a fat ass. Otherwise, itty bitty titties by themselves are not great.
I have a fat ass. So it's good.
I'm not talking about like an obese fat ass. I'm talking about a nice semi-fat ass, just a little bit past perfect.
But isn't that the new look? I mean, like these girls that have got the big ass, they're just fat people that get liposuction so that they have like a flat belly with a big fat ass.
I don't know.
Their bellies always look like their bellies always look really awkward.
Do you think bellies were ever like in?
Never.
No.
I think these are just fat girls that they just get a liposuction in the belly.
If you do lipo or a BBL, but you don't go to the gym, you're totally mental. If you don't have any actual definition or form or muscular skeletal system development, and you just do plastic surgery, you're a hideous creature who's falling apart.
In Arab culture, they call it prosperous, bro. Big women. That means she has money to eat.
Well played.
What?
Yeah, diabetes is not prosperity.
Be a big woman.
Tender, what I said
Jesus,
was.
why do you have to speak over CEH? Say it again, I didn't hear.
In Arab culture, they don't call it being fat, they call it being prosperous, and it's a sign that you have money and you eat well.
Then I'm very prosperous.
We've seen the documentary of those pre-diabetic fatties in Saudi Arabia that eat a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I wonder if you get like a couple minutes on the liposuck for every like Happy Meal you order.
Do you know how painful liposuction is? Have you ever seen the actual surgery and what these women go through afterwards?
I know it well, and no, not at all.
They literally take an electric cattle prod and emulsify your fat while ripping through your flesh and sinews, all to emulsify the fat. And then the recovery process is like a 90-day or more. It's brutal.
I think I paid for something just like that, but it was not about changing my body shape. It was something else.
You can fix the belly fat, but you can't fix the brain.
That's wrong.
That's true.
I really wonder if there was like a culture where like having a belly, like having a big belly, was like hot. It was like what's
Yeah, in the USA.
Yeah, in Pulp
No,
Fiction.
it may be common. Common is not hot.
In Pulp Fiction,
Tribe
when
in Africa, the bigger your belly, the more attractive you are. If you see some of these guys,
Where?
there's a tribe in Africa. If you see some of their fucking stomachs, it's ridiculous.
Well, in sumo, it's also
Yeah, but that's a sport.
so it's, I don't know the word I'm looking for.
Sumo wrestling.
Yeah, no, but I was looking for a word on the belly. You know, I went to a real sumo championship, and these guys were disgusting. It was impressive.
How can this be real? The name of that tribe, it's like this has to be it's BODI, which could easily like sound like body. So it just
The sound of the bellies colliding with each other, and then seeing those two men, like rubbing each other. I mean, their bodies towards each other. It was, I don't know. It was like horrible.
I've never seen it, but I
I
definitely
think this topic must be exciting to Will.
well, if you're a man and you've ever made love to a fat woman who can't actually move in the bed because she's so fat and out of shape, it's really
Have you?
disgusting.
Have you?
in a good way.
I'm just saying, I've been with some ladies that needed to go to the gym.
Like, have you ever been doing it in like a fold and you thought you were inside? Was it that bad?
Sometimes when you can't see the actual vagina because there's so much fat and flesh surrounding the.
Why are you?
Is that I can't even imagine. You ever remember that thing, the thigh-gina of that chick on the bus? And it totally looks like a crotch shot, but it's just her thighs. It's a meme. It was a very popular meme back in the day. But
I'm just saying, a lot of these girls on these dating apps, they don't need to try to get free dinners. What they need is a gym membership.
let's go to the gym. That's amazing.
I need free dinners, Josh.
I think I'm gonna have to get my gym started.
No matter how fat I am, I will always need free dinners. And
No, you need a gym membership before you need free dinners.
I'll tell you what. I'll buy you the dinner when you need it. Here's the gym
I don't
membership.
think the gym will be able to fight 450 pounds.
Believe me, what I'm saying is these women have their priorities totally backwards and they're utterly insane. And it's just obvious that most of these fatties that want to drink and eat all the time but not go to the gym, and they're posting photos from 8 years ago, like they're never going to get to where they want to be because their priorities, they have no priorities.
Dude, glory days. That's where I live. Ozempic, though, they're good. They're good. Ozempic. They got this.
I heard Ozempic is having a lot of secondary effects, like it makes you grow hair.
I heard it makes your butt like fall down or something.
Or it is fall. Okay.
No, I said I heard there's something called Ozempic butt. I don't understand it exactly, but apparently it makes your butt sag.
Oh, that's because you don't go to exercise.
Maybe, yeah, you're losing the weight and then I don't know.
And your skin is loose.
I don't think that doing that way, I think it can be healthy, but it's like you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do me and just take this injection and still do me. That's not a good thing. You gotta want to change to change. All right, you want to hear some geriatric dating stories? This is very funny. My dad is a single older gentleman, and he had this chick. He was, she lived not close. They'd have to drive to see each other, and she's been around for a while. She's a nice enough lady or whatever. And he just needed some time. He's like, he had a lot going on, so he's like taking a break from her. She thinks it's like a big deal. It's not a big deal to him, but she starts texting my sister-in-law, his daughter-in-law, and basically saying that she was the one taking him away from her. She texted my daughter-in-law's mother to say how horrible her daughter was for stealing him away. It was like, it has gone so far off the fucking rock. Like, just, I've seen crazy. I've never seen this. Can you imagine texting the mother of someone's child's wife? Just, I don't know. Sorry. I guess you had to be there.
Yeah, I think it went a little bit over my head, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm leaving out a lot of the, like, whatever, but, like, it's just, I don't know. I had no idea this continues into the geriatric stage.
Well, be careful or you will end up there.
I mean, I guess so. Wait, who am I in that example?
Your dad?
Okay, I guess that's better. At least I'm
Like
not sending
father,
the
like
text.
son. How old is your dad?
He's pushing 80.
And he's still dating. That's really nice.
Yeah, he's not quite there, but, within about 20 years up or down, but more up. He's old. He still skis.
Wow. I wish my mom would date.
Is your mom hot and not crazy?
No, she's a little bit crazy. But she's 73 now.
Okay, they're in the same dating pool. There's the thing is, there's like very few of him and so many women.
Yeah, because you guys die earlier.
Not only that, but if they don't die, they're still married, kind of thing. So it's like my mom died, so he's
That's true. I mean, you know that married men live longer than single men, and it's the opposite for women. Married women live less than single women.
That makes sense.
So if you want to live longer,
All right, but like, here's the thing: the married men are miserable, right? They're miserable because they're married and they have to put up with their whatever, and the unmarried women are just bitter, and so they just have to put. So it's like anger, hate, bitterness will carry you through.
The actual reason apparently is because men, I mean, they live longer. What was it? Yeah, they live longer when they're married, and they die earlier if they're single. So yeah, I don't know.
STDs.
I got it all confused in my head. I said it right the first time.
Do you know how like everybody thinks people in Okinawa live longer?
Alright, let's get into the news.
They have like this incredibly long-lived population.
So, Tucker Carlson.
You've never heard that about I think it's Okinawa, Japan. They have like diets based on them, and they have so many centenarians. You've never heard that? Really? Okay. well, this won't be interesting to you.
Well, no, talk about it. I mean, like I just have never heard.
All right, so it's like quite quite well known kind of thing that people believe, and apparently it was based on a whole lot of really bad data that like and misaligned incentives. Like people there are some of the poorest people in Japan. They're much more likely to commit fraud, to pretend like they are still alive, their relatives still alive, but they're not, to stay on like the dole from the government. And there's all this like statistical stuff, just very interesting. There's this very common belief there's some of the longest lived people.
You keep it
And yet apparently,
on your chest, man. When you lie all the way out, you transfer a lot of that tension from your chest to your shoulder. So if you're trying to build a chest, you want to do baby push-ups, bro, because it's going to keep all that tension right here across the center of your chest. They look like this.
now ask ChatGPT, do they live long, or are they more susceptible to fraud?
So remember, man, it's not what you
Ask
do.
it, do they live longer, or is that being misrepresented in the statistics? No,
Yeah,
so they judge that by the number of centenarians.
The best thing about it is, I know you didn't
Please don't scroll.
He said it's the ghetto there. Nobody follows that traditional diet.
Money is coming, home is coming.
I'm telling you, it's like the ghetto there. And no, like that may be true that at one point that was a traditional diet. It's no longer true. And it no longer applies. It's bizarre. I don't know, whether or not they have the most centenarians or not.
Bro,
But I do know that their statistics are totally fucked up.
Me not man no angels major or not.
It doesn't say here that it's violent or anything. It says that poor, yes, it's less economically advantaged, but it says that poor is very different from poverty in developing countries or struggling urban areas elsewhere. Most people's basic needs are met, and public safety, infrastructure, and healthcare are strong. Okinawa is laid back, peaceful, and tight-knit. Crime is very low. Homes are modest, but there's a deep sense of pride and respect for others. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Ghetto really is basically anything that is outside of
It is ghetto. It's not like
Have you been there?
twice.
Okay, so maybe your perception is there because maybe the houses are not as beautiful, or it might look, I don't know, like old and poor, but that doesn't mean that it's ghetto. Anyway, they say that they live longer because of their diet. It's plant-based, low in calories, minimal sugar and processed foods, and antioxidants. Active lifestyle. They do a lot of walking, gardening, and movement. Elderly people often
You can't never tell about that. Hey, all of the block you had. Hey, you can't never tell about that. Hey, all of the block you had. Hey, you can't never tell about that. Hey, all of the block you had. Hey, you can't never tell me when to chat. Hey, all of the block like that. Hey, you can't never tell me when to chat.
and low chronic disease rates. It's interesting. I didn't know about this.
I just asked ChatGPT, have the statistics about Okinawa lifespan been misrepresented from statistical misrepresentations and due individuals misrepresenting dead relatives as alive for government payments, for the incentive of government payments. And it says, yes, Okinawa's legendary longevity has been partially overstated due to outdated or inaccurate civil registration system. It goes on to say, basically, people cheated. Yeah, they're healthy, but it's not that big of an anomaly.
I don't know.
I just found it fascinating because they were like the center of people living forever.
No, I don't think that they're saying people live forever, but you find a lot of very old people at those times.
Well, I don't know what the real numbers are, but apparently you don't, or not that many more than other places. I'm not. This isn't my book. I'm just talking from some shit I read that I found interesting. I don't know which is true. Like you said, I haven't been there. But the other thing is, have you seen this with what's the old lady in France? She lived to like 122. Apparently, there's a good chance that it was actually her daughter. Her daughter allegedly died when she was like 36, and her mom was like in her 60s, and then I guess her
identity of the mom.
Yeah, but like it gets weirder because I think the dad or the stepdad moved in with the daughter's husband lived with his mother.
You're a pillow friend, so
Well, I
right.
have to put my lips on shit, baby.
Right.
Here,
His personality is that great. You just hand over personality, he hands over money, right?
money, no. I think you're. You be more jealous of him. If you want to be more jealous, but no, seriously, now it's a real deal question, y'all, and I'm done.
Why would I be jealous? Don't.
No, I'm asking you
You're a
directly.
feminist.
You want to explain?
You're a
Would you be
America, I think y'all gotta give her a chance to speak. We don't know nothing about her. She's saying she's Yeah.
Would you be more
Give
jealous?
us a rundown of who you are, America, and your beliefs.
Thank you, baby. Yes, I am a
Are you a
Christian from the
feminist?
Midwest. No, I'm not a feminist. I'm from the 80s. Let me tell you, when I first learned about the feminism thing, I was really grateful to all the things that paved the way for my generation, but I am not a feminist at all. I have marched before, but I stopped marching in 1999 against police brutality in Chicago. I'm not none of these things that he's saying.
Gotta let it talk.
I'm around 40 years old, bro.
Bro, I've been here for 5
I'm
years.
almost an OG. Yeah, I'm almost an OG. I'm from the 80s. I had hair curls and points. You keep on talking over me though, man. Straight up, it's like.
Bro, she might be a good woman, but y'all gonna take her off to the feminist, bro.
This question.
Y'all gonna take her off to the feminist, bro.
I'm not a feminist. Okay, so would you be more jealous of the white man for having me, or more jealous of me for having him?
Who gives a shit? Don't matter what white dude.
I don't care. She don't sound nothing like Mango Moment, bro.
Right.
Don't be too much. Hey, everything go with you, white man.
And I'm going to black man. I'm going to black man. Shit, I go in money rooms. I tell you that.
She came in with that gray ass.
No, I know. I don't.
Okay, she getting money. Okay, I fucks with that.
Do America fuck with them? And then every last one of them black women to tell you I don't fuck with none of them because I'm a loner. I always been. That's why I'm
Okay.
Okay, I fucks with that. Right.
I saw my cousin on Clubhouse. I almost.
Baby Steve, you're a fuck, you know.
I didn't stop. But I'm talking with my cousin.
Fucking Baby Steve. Baby Steve was a pander.
I don't mess with a lot of those women. They're so behind.
I don't know no pander.
But I'll tell you one thing: if y'all feel like black women, they love them some black men.
Hey, when a black man never stop, when a black man stop,
I love my pussy.
Black women stop loving black men. Is what you meant to say.
I love all women still out there.
2015.
I'm not losing a black woman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me.
I like women that treat me well.
I used to just swirl.
I like women that prefer me and me only.
Black, white.
So you guys are beating up on a black woman. You a bunch of hypocrites.
name is Dog Maggot, and I'm a super motherfucking moron. I think I'm a Republican comedian, you know?
Yeah, no, y'all
You projecting.
I'm about the only black woman you will ever meet that didn't
They ain't got no fucking back. Come back.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you ain't vote for Barack? Oh, shit.
I'm independent. I vote for
And I'm in a state. And Indiana's a red state, but white folks.
See,
White folks
Obama's a homosexual.
That's how smart I am.
Sarah Palin's a homosexual.
Hey, why didn't you vote for Obama?
Trump is a faggot.
Because at first,
concluded that there cannot be objective morality without the divine. So it made them think. It sparked something in them.
I know money.
We cannot.
Traveler. I'm not. يعني somehow doing for. I'm not a pragmatist who are using anything.
I'm playing some stuff. So and then I'm gonna put up. We'll put up a little bit of another track here. Hold on. Let's see. 1 second. So then I'm gonna put up a new one here. So
What
the
do you
average net worth in 2022 and 52,000. So I'm just making sure I have the right metrics because it's 1 point. So yeah, I put in a chat. Policies were created under your guys. Oh, but that's a fallacy right there. You're doing a whataboutism. Wait a minute, you're making an accusation without even looking at your side first to see if your accusation can be used as a valid point.
Where the fuck did he find that one?
I think that's a fallacy in itself. You claim that, oh, what we're talking about is this and this and this. We want to disprove or prove that your guy is this or that or whatever it is we want to call it, but we won't even mention exactly how we got here. The nuances, the policies, the indiscretions of the previous leader is exactly how we got here to where we are. That's not going to be mentioned. It's like it's almost like you want to tie your opponent's arm behind their back and then claim victory when you defeat them in a boxing ring. I think it's terrible, and it's a weak way of debating, especially if you claim that you're a genuine interlocutor. It doesn't make any sense. Wait a minute, did I just lose service or y'all just...
Lyle, what are you, like a wind-up toy? You just never shut the fuck up? You keep opinionating for 7 days a week, 8 hours a day? I mean, what the fuck? How do you drive a truck if you driving your fucking lips and mouth and brain here 7 days a week, 50 hours a week, talking about nothing?
Hey, if you think that's something, ask your mother what I do. Woo!
Line, what is the answer to the secret riddle of the Sphinx?
George, you a fucking bitch.
The answer?
I'm gonna throw you in the back of my fucking car and beat the dog shit out of you with my nightstick, bitch.
The answer is walk into your mother's house and find her tongue box.
So you guys want to rape my mother and kill me? Oh, you a bunch of intellectuals. I didn't forgot we was in the Chillism, aka Ebonics house.
There's nothing funnier than to see your mother in a sex.
George, I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of you with my fucking snake.
Is that how you get dates on a Friday, Saturday night talking like that?
I'm going to handcuff you in the streets with the gangbangers.
You're gonna get another party hat talking like that, you dirty dog, making death threats. I hope you got another burner account lined up, because I know you addicted to this shit. I hope you like a party hat. I'm reporting you right now.
You're a cocksucker.
I'm going to see your party hat tomorrow, I'm sure, for a little party.
Orange is going to be a good color for you for the next 30 years. Whenever.
Only reason they let me up here talk is because the mods are sick of you fucks, you dumb, low IQ motherfuckers who run your lips all day long talking about nothing. That's why they allow me to disrespect your asses right now.
Where's that bitch Nate at, man? I'm going to lock that nigga's head off and use his head as a bowling ball, man.
I'm going to report you for making attempted death threats, you dirty fucking piece of shit.
You know what? The only good thing about that dude's bald head is to fucking take that shit and roll it down the fucking bowling ball alley and watch it knock the 10 balls down.
Mama said that he be bleaching his skin.
Oh man. Hey, Lion, you want to see his ugly ass face? You want to see his ugly?
I'm gonna let Dr. Adams eat both your assholes up for dinner.
That shit was hilarious.
Hey.
It's called Chitlins and Chitlins.
Yo, hey, Lion, isn't this the type of face you just want to fucking knock off? Like just take a baseball bat and just bash that shit in an orbit. Look at this. Hey, man.
He got another picture where his face is like totally like just about like 5 tones lighter.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm talking shit about light skin niggas.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, one of these days I'm gonna be down at Dade County, but find where this nigga lives at. I'm gonna knock him the fuck out. And then while he's unconscious, I'm gonna fucking take a picture of his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Mass report for death threats.
Oh yeah, nah. I said I was gonna knock his head off.
Hello? Hello? That's gotta be Dr. Sasha. He's back. He's bored. And he's got music.
It's like, yo, I don't know.
Yeah, but technically, I mean, like, so the angel came and impregnated Mary, and then
Wasn't even God didn't do the deed himself?
God also appeared in Joseph's dreams and said, "This is what's going to
I don't
happen."
care about the music, Dr. Sasha.
That's diabolical. He's in Joseph's dreams. Like, first we gonna hit it from the back. Put her legs up over her head.
Dr. Sasha, don't you have a family? What the fuck are you in here playing music to some fucking bald-headed asshole in Chicago? What the fuck is wrong with you, Dr. Sasha? Good song, by the way.
Do you think Mary was a squirter?
Oh, I fucking hope so.
Bye, Dr. Sasha. Sorry.
Turn a woman whining into water.
It's not music hour. I'm about to go to sleep.
Maybe it is a myth. I've had a woman squirt, and I'm like, you're peeing.
Yeah, a lot of girls claim that it's squirt, but what they're doing is pissing all over your carpet.
Yeah.
But it didn't smell, and it didn't, like...
Yeah, it's too deep, Sasha. I just can't do it.
Whatever.
I'll start crying. Yep. I met a girl at the bar once. No, she's like, I'm squirting. I'm like, bitch, you're pissing on my carpet. Stop. A pool is forming.
I'm coming. Motherfucker, you're peeing inside me. Stop. I'm trying to pee inside a woman.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
One of my drunk buddies peed in a girl's mouth. She tried to give him a blowjob.
Oh.
Where you gotta go.
Bro, to be fair, having known this dude since kindergarten, not surprising. Kind of blame her.
Should have seen it coming.
I feel bad for his adoptive parents. Like, he's not a bad-looking dude, by the way, but, I mean, I've known this guy since kindergarten. He's just the dumbest motherfucker I know.
Oh, this isn't to be a dick. This is like, I don't know what to do.
I mean, honestly, maybe. Yeah, I never actually interviewed him about it.
Get him on the phone. Let's ask him questions.
Telling us. The last interview I had with him, Austin, many years ago, we would have been like fucking 19 or something. Me and the boys were out getting fucking wings or something, and he shows up and he's so excited. He's in such a good mood. He tells us, oh man, last night I just went to the strip club and I had such a good time. And he gets really descriptive. By the way, this is going somewhere. The strippers out there bouncing their fucking ass on me and what did he say? Like, making a fucking ass taco with his cock or something like that, bro. That was the kind of description he gave, right? And he's really excited. He's like, oh, I got this new job coming up. He's like, I'm going to go work at this club. Okay, I don't want to say the name of the club, actually. That's very revealing. But basically, he's got a job. He's going to go work at a male strip club. And so he tells us all this, and there's this long silence around the table. And he, like, looks at each of us, like, individually. And he goes, guys, like, it's not gay. Like, they can't touch you. He told us what it was like for you at the women's strip club. And then you at a strip club, but it's not gay. After the ass dick taco example.
Dude, here's a well-known fact that a woman-themed, like a male-themed strip club is far more rambunctious. It's like a well-known fact, so I don't know. So I want an update, dude.
Bro, well, you know what? I don't even know if you followed through, but in that conversation, we're like, you know, bro, like, yeah, it's super gay, but it's okay. We support you, bro. Like, you're fine, dude. Like, nobody's gonna judge you. Like, it is super gay, though. And I just remember he got like this sad look on his face, like we just took Christmas away.
Dude, he was working at a strip club. It didn't matter. It was a bunch of dudes. He was still working at a strip club. That's the dream.
But you know what? The cool thing about being born mentally diminished, this dude survived like an extreme overdose on like research chemicals. He was in a coma for like 3 days when he came out. Same exact dude, which we all credited to the fact that he's always been really dumb. Like, he just did 3 days in a coma, came out of the coma, just didn't.
He even addressed it economically and he said a lot of stuff. SubhanAllah, I mean, people are.
When they're gone, and if there's only 21 billion, all these things, right? And it took me literally, even though I was, from a technical family, we had a technical background, it took me until it was $2,000 before I bought my first one, like 4 years later. And even then, I went into shit coins and for years before finally, after being in it for probably a decade, realized like, oh, no, Bitcoin is the only one. It's the only one that's not a fucking scam. It is literally more life-changing for humanity than the IP protocol and the internet, right? Like that, it took me.
You're so fucking brainwashed and stupid. It's unbelievable.
Do you want to break that down a little bit, or
yeah, you're making all or nothing statements. I mean, you're talking as if you could eat a Bitcoin for breakfast, or fly a Bitcoin to the Bahamas, or build a house out of Bitcoin. I mean, you're talking like a neurotic Bitcoiner. It's pathetic.
But I can do all those things. Like you can own Bitcoin through MicroStrategy, through an ETF, on an exchange. You can exchange it for currency.
Okay, Bitcoin.
Jeremy, for the record, you said you come from a technical family, so check me.
How dare you? If you suggest that there are not some absolutely fantastically melanated folks out there that were not revolutionary in tech innovation, then you never saw that NASA movie.
I come from a very technical family too.
I should totally expose myself. I'm sorry. What was that, doggy matcha?
I don't know. The point is, Canada is an inferior country to America in nearly every way imaginable, including its citizens, and you are a perfect example of this inferiority. I am complete.
And listen, most Americans feel the same way about North Korea, and I understand why, right? But also, if you check on like any of the top indicators of quality when it comes to quality of life, whether it's education, access to healthcare, like just every metric, I think, with the exception of maybe like how many guns are owned per person, it all points to the opposite of what you said, Doji Macha.
Oh wow, guns. That's your big argument? Because you guys don't have as many cool guns as us? That's pathetic.
I'm saying that's the only thing that America does better than us, which is own more guns per person.
The only thing we do better? The only thing?
I mean, if I'm being critical...
Have you seen our president compared to Trudeau? Do you know who you guys elected?
And so because I'm an educated person who understands global politics rather than just American stuff, I actually know that Trudeau's not the Prime Minister of Canada. He's also not the governor.
He wasn't the Prime Minister?
He was. He's no
He was. I know he was. I said, do you realize who you elected?
Do you know who our new Prime Minister is, Doji Maja?
No, I don't know the name.
Why not? Do you think it has anything to do with...
Let me Google that for myself so I can tell you now.
When it comes to education? No, but do you think it has anything to do with that, maybe?
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that you're on here every day talking about nothing, wasting all your time?
I mean, we all have our downtime, right, Doji Macha? Don't you have like...
You have a lot of downtime, Dr. Jeremy.
There's a lot of hypnosis in the room right now.
I've heard you pontificating and talking apes for quite a while, talking about nothing. It's amazing how much nothing you can talk.
What's up, Martel? Do you think Bitcoin is a scam?
Do I think Bitcoin is a scam? I do not. But I mean, am I heavily invested into it? No. Do I have some in my portfolio? Yeah.
Do you understand, or do you appreciate the difference between Bitcoin and shitcoins?
I do, and I know the difference between the technology that Bitcoin offers compared to a lot of the shitty meme coins. I'm very particular in what I invest in, and I don't go as far as to really just the big three, right? Bitcoin, bit of Ethereum, and I do like Avalanche, but like other than those three, I don't really go into like the meme coins.
You were doing awesome. Like you were literally like doing so good right up until the last sentence, and then like
I'm not a Bitcoiner. I don't call myself a Bitcoiner like a maxi or anything, but it is an asset that's hard to ignore, you know.
Okay, and honestly, I want to be nuanced. I don't want to just shit on shitcoiners, right? Is that, listen, you can make money fucking with shitcoins, just like you can make money going to the casino. Most people don't. It's ultimately up to luck. But I'm not saying you can make money with shitcoins, but they're still shitcoins. Ethereum is a shitcoin. XRP is a shitcoin. If you want to argue out of the 30,000 shitcoins, what isn't? Maybe you could talk about Monero if you wanted to fuck with nuance.